Why do so many relationships begin with the feeling, "This is the person I've been looking for," yet end with the sentence, "We're just not compatible"? Not because people change too quickly, but because love always moves through stages that very few of us are ever taught to understand. Most of us enter love through instinct, but leave it confused, wounded, and blaming ourselves. And if you look closely enough at relationships, you'll begin to see that love does not fall apart randomly. It falls apart according to a very clear psychological pattern. I call this the three equations of love. 1 + 1 = 1, 1 + 1 = 0, and 1 + 1 = 2. Stage 1. 1 + 1 = 1. At the beginning of love, what happens is not the meeting of two emotionally mature individuals, but the psychological fusion of two incomplete selves. The feeling of "we are one" does not come from deeply understanding each other, but from the other person unconsciously touching emotional needs that were never fulfilled in the past. When someone makes us feel seen, listened to, and chosen, the brain quickly links that feeling to safety and happiness. We begin to believe that this person is the answer to what has been missing inside us for a long time. The core mechanism of this stage is projection. We are not seeing who the other person truly is, but an idealized image created by our own mind. That image often carries what we once lacked: stability, gentleness, protection, or validation. The other person becomes a screen onto which we project our deepest unspoken expectations. This is why love in this stage feels intense, fast, and almost destined. Yet within that intensity lies a hidden truth. We are more in love with the feeling of being filled than with the actual person in front of us. In the next video, I will explain more clearly how this mechanism of idealized projection works in love, where it comes from, why we do it, and why, if we don't recognize it, we keep repeating the same kind of pain with different people. Stage 2. 1 + 1 = 0. No illusion lasts forever. When a relationship enters real life, the ideal image begins to crack. The other person is no longer always present, no longer always understanding, no longer responding in the way we expect. And this is the critical moment. We are not hurting because they don't love us, but because they are no longer playing the role we needed them to play. This stage is often mistaken for falling out of love, but psychologically, it is the moment when our deepest attachment wounds are activated. Feelings of abandonment, of not being prioritized, of not being enough rise to the surface. We begin to respond with control, blame, withdrawal, or emotional attacks. The two people stop seeing each other as allies and start seeing each other as threats to their sense of safety. This is when the story, "You are the reason I am suffering," appears. In reality, we are blaming the other person for the collapse of a dream we created ourselves. Stage 3. 1 + 1 = 2. The third stage does not arrive naturally. It only appears when one or both people stop loving from instinct and begin loving from awareness. This is the stage of differentiation. I am me, and you are you. We no longer love in order to be completed, but love from a place of inner completeness. We are able to see the other person as they truly are, both strengths and limitations, without the need to reshape them to fit our inner image. At this stage, love is no longer about fusion, but about companionship. We take responsibility for our own emotions instead of asking the other person to regulate them for us. Conflict still exists, but it is no longer a fight for survival. It becomes an opportunity to understand ourselves and each other more deeply. This kind of love is rare because it requires emotional maturity, the ability to self-regulate, and the courage to face oneself. People need to understand the stages of love, not to follow a perfect formula, but to stop blaming themselves when love changes. Many of us grow up believing that if we love enough and try hard enough, a relationship should always feel smooth and safe. So when conflict appears, we conclude that we chose the wrong person, loved the wrong way, or worse, that we are unworthy of love. This understanding helps us see that conflict is not the failure of love, but an inevitable stage that appears when illusion dissolves and reality begins to speak. We also need this awareness to stop repeating the same kind of pain with different people. When we fail to recognize projection and fusion in the beginning, we are repeatedly drawn to those who feel familiar, even though relationships with them consistently end in hurt. We change partners, but we don't change the script. What we are truly searching for is not a new person, but the healing of old emotional wounds. Without awareness, we will keep repeating the same pattern. More importantly, this understanding allows us to distinguish between love and emotional dependence. Many relationships that are labeled as love are actually built on fear: fear of loss, fear of loneliness, and fear of abandonment. When we understand that mature love is not about merging, but about walking side by side, we begin to set healthier boundaries, take responsibility for our emotional world, and stop asking another person to fill our inner emptiness. This is the transition from loving by instinct to loving with awareness. If these words resonate with you, please like and share this video. Somewhere out there, someone may be in a relationship they don't understand, only knowing that it hurts. And perhaps your share will help them begin to see love from a different perspective.